Next, we turn to the communities of the Eshkol region, among the hardest hit on October 7th. Since that tragic day, these kibbutzim have needed trauma care, emergency assistance, and special programs for children and youth to help them rebuild resilience and look toward a better future. Our next interview is with Pnina Agenyahu, Director of the Global Jewish Connections at the Jewish Agency.
Pnina, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for being here.
So you lead the Jewish Agency's Partnership Together initiative and the Communities Together as the manager of the Global Jewish Connections Department. So can you explain to us how this program was mobilized in the wake of October 7th, and what makes it sort of unique in responding to the needs of local communities here in Israel?
So the Jewish Agency have a partnership together for the last 30 years, and it was basically in the peripheria area, in the south and the north, supporting communities like Yerucham and Bet She'an, when the major thing was connecting people to people, and by that connecting the Jewish people to Israel, and Israel is to Jewish identity and Jewish worldwide. And that's worked for 30 years. And the idea there was to bring them together, to connect, and then support each other, right? When October 7 launched, we were down there with the Fund for Victims of Terror and other programming, and we saw the evacuated from the Western Negev to the hotels. And we were asking ourselves, what is going to be the added value of us as an organization, as a platform partnership together, to straighten those connections again and also support in solidarity those communities. And what I saw on the ground was that communities that already had a partnership, like Netivot already had a partnership with Philadelphia and Ofakim with Metro West, the first thing they had is that the CEO of the Jewish Federation of Metro West called the mayor of Ofakim and asked him, what can I do for you? And the same happened again in all those cities that we already had a partnership before. But the kibbutzim and the moshavim that didn't have any partnership, no one was there to hug them from the Jewish world. No one was there to ask them what you need. Philanthropy was there, a lot of philanthropy was there, but it wasn't the personal connection and the people coming in. So what we decided is that no community will left behind. So those that didn't had a connection to any community, it was 27 communities like that in the Western Negev. And we start slowly matchmaking them, and I become the matchmaker of the Jewish people in my organization. And you know, it was amazing to see that none of the Jewish communities from the Jewish Federation of North America that I reached out to say no.
So an incredible show of solidarity from Jewish communities around the world. And since the attack, as you mentioned, 27 communities in Gaza, and now Gaza envelope, and now 2 municipalities in the north have been paired with Jewish communities abroad. And so what impact have you already seen on the ground from these partnerships?
So first of all, if you look at the funding that came into it, it's a total of $19 million commitment for 3 years for all the 27. It's a lot. Okay, it's in addition to what the government is providing to other organizations. But I think the unique part of it is that we asked the community leadership to sit with the Jewish Community Federation together. If we put together Cleveland with Kisofim, for example, we asked them to sit together as a team and decide what's the plan for the $250,000 a year plus 3 years. So that's one impact, the funding that they can use and utilize for whatever they need. It can be a youth coordinator that they never had before, because now you need more infrastructure and more impact on the youth that came back home. It can be a new farm. It can be even a synagogue that wasn't there before, because now they want to have space, a spiritual space for them. It can be a garden that it's a nature healing gardening that they can put together. And then the best impact out of it is that the community abroad is part of the decision, but also part of taking it in action. So they come and see in their eyes what happened with the funding they put together. So a lot of them went to strengthen their leadership. A lot of them went to rebuild a structure that they had and was destroyed. And a lot of it went to really missions of groups that came to meet together and build a garden, painting the houses, and things like that.
So looking ahead, how do you see these global partnerships evolving? I mean, what role do you believe diaspora communities play and can continue to play in helping Israelis not only recover, but as you mentioned, sort of thrive in the years to come?
First of all, I believe strongly that what happened in here affect our friends and our family and brother and sister outside of Israel. So you can't deny what's happening here, and the connections are so strong. And when the connections are strong and you build on that, there's so much to do together in the impact as a global jury. And I think beyond the philanthropy is the connection that we create with each other, and straight in there's a living bridge, that's how we call it, when the bridge is really alive and you get to understand who you are and they get to understand who we are, and you can share those stories. And I believe that if we can engage more and more communities outside of Israel to be connected with Israel through the partnership platform, through other initiatives, it will strengthen our ability not only to share our story and narrative and affect what we see out, what happening there as well as the rise of anti-Semitism and the pro-Palestine protests all over. It's constraining both sides, and we can see that because you see more and more young people, for example, that join a program like that, and they all of a sudden meet a young fellow from Be'eri or Nahal Oz, and they get to know exactly what happened there, and not from the media. It's affecting both sides. So I believe that the way to grow is to create more and more communities that join us, not only from abroad, but also in Israel community. The North really waiting for us to connect more and more communities there. We're talking about 5 municipalities at the moment that are not connected with specific community, and we already did 2, as you mentioned, but there's 3 more that we want to connect. And this way, if you map the country, it's almost every city here can be connected directly to another community or Jewish community, and by those connections, they will find together their way to be together, to be active, to support each other. And supporting it's not only for this side, it's also supporting the other side as well.
Absolutely. Pnina, thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing these wonderful initiatives.
Thank you. My pleasure.